So, this is our babies, kids, and oils class, and myself and Lynette will be teaching and hosting. And today we're going to learn about essential oils. So, if you're new to essential oils, or even if you're not, we're going to be learning about what essential oils are, how to use them with kids, kind of how Lynette and I got started with oils, and then some of our most favorite ones, and a few little recipes and tips and things like that. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So for myself, um, uh, kids and babies is sort of how I started with oils. Our little one was just so sick. He was 2 months old. And I just didn't feel like I had anything to help him. I felt like we were in this like just constant season of sickness. It just came and went and came and went. And we were just always sick. We had a lot of kids in our house. We were doing foster care at the time, and we just were constantly sick. So I reached out to a friend that I'd actually talked to like a year prior. So don't ever give up on your friends. And I was like, tell me what to do. I'm desperate. I need help. And I know Josh, my husband, was a little bit more skeptical. He's very like more sciency, and just wants the facts and wants to see the results. And he was just blown away. I was blown away how quickly our bodies were supported and how quickly we saw our little one get better. So that's kind of how we started, and then it just snowballed from there. It's like with anything, you try one thing and then you try another, and you realize like just all the other ways that you can use oils as a mom. And just hormones, since we're talking about kids and babies, like I realized I could support my hormones. We had some issues with our kiddo with like sensory issues, and just a whole host of things. And so we just really fell in love with oils from that point. And I think that was about 3.5 years ago. And so I just love being able to share this with other people so that they can see the same results. Um, so I think I'm going to hand it off to Lynette, and she's going to kind of share and start us off how she got started with oils and what her experience has been.
Hi, my name's Lynette Corris. I've been with Young Living for close to 4 years now. And my oily journey really starts back when I was a teenager because I had so many issues, gut issues. And it literally took me a decade to try to figure out what was going on with my body and like coming to the idea of the fact that I needed to live a more natural lifestyle. And I just dug my heels for the longest time with that. And it wasn't until my fiance at the time was so supportive about it. And we just had a conversation about how important it was going to be to try to get toxins out of our life before we even thought about having children. So a lot of my journey starts with like pre-baby and then pregnancy. And then we have a really young child right now. She's a year and a half. And so we ended up just switching over our chemical laden cleaners. That's where we started, and just started to really understand the idea of bioaccumulation and how important it was just to start to get rid of all of these toxic filled products that we were using that we really didn't even realize had such a huge impact on our bodies. And so as we were starting to do this, as I ended up getting pregnant 2 years ago, and I ended up hearing this study about how there was a study done on newborns, and it was about like the cord blood, and they did a cord blood sample of a few different newborns, and they found over 200 toxins, including industrial chemicals and pesticides and pollutants, and that just really was an eye-opener. And so I was able to do a lot more ditching and switching during my pregnancy. So it's just kind of been over a long period of time, layers and layers of peeling back all of these pollutants that we've been exposed to and trying to be the gatekeeper of our homes. And that's the biggest thing. But we started to understand what bioaccumulation was, and that's like the act of toxins building up in our system over time. And there's toxins that we can avoid. Like, for example, where I was working, I couldn't change the cleaner that they were using in the school that I was working in. But I realized that as we are the gatekeepers of our home, we can be the ones to either say, yes, we're going to bring this into our home and apply it to our skin, or no, we're not. So that's where Young Living came in so much, and I'm so thankful for Young Living because I can trust every single product that they have. So it's been a long time coming for us, and I'm so thankful. And I'm going to switch it over to Hillary, where she'll start talking about ditching and switching, which I started to touch on.
So yeah, I had never heard of bioaccumulation either, and just the products that are in our homes and how they affect our bodies on a daily basis, how they can affect our kids. But then our little guy, he was just having some just major behavior issues. He was regressing. We were just seeing all sorts of things. We just couldn't figure out what was going on, and we were just desperate. We kept going to the pediatrician and like, what can we do? Like, what's our plan? Like, and he just was like, oh, just wait and see. Like, he'll grow out of it. It's just a stage. And I'm like, but we're going backwards. Um, and so I just started researching and looking into like the food we were eating and the products we were bringing into our home. And I am like an all in type of person. So not everybody's like that, but I was like, I just gathered everything in my house that I felt like was toxic for our little guy. And I just dumped it all in the trash. And my husband was so funny. He was just like, trying to rescue everything, and he's like, those are good products. And I was like, no, we're done. And now we laugh about it because he's totally on board. But in the beginning, it was like a slower process for him. So, if you're a slower to process things, like that's totally fine. If you're like a swap one thing at a time, I was more of like a ditch and switch it all. But some people, it's like, okay, I'm going to replace, my child's body wash. I'm going to replace our shampoo. I'm going to replace our diapers and our wipes. And so you can do this like slow process. I really love Essential Rewards for this. I feel like it kind of locks you in and commits you to making these really good, healthy swaps each month and helps you to invest in your family's health and wellness. And what you're bringing into your home, that you're bringing in like good quality products. So I really loved that Essential Rewards was just like this great tool for our family when we first started with Young Living. I think I signed up the second month and I've been on it ever since, and it's amazing. I love that Young Living has over 600 products for our family. As a busy mom, it makes it such an easy, like, one-stop shop to swap things out and just make sure like what we're bringing in our home is safe for our kiddos. Um, I also really love Young Living has this seed to seal guarantee on everything. As parents, we all want the very best for our kids, and sometimes we just don't know what's in our products until we do. And then I love that Young Living has this great guarantee that we are getting just natural plant-based products that we order each month. I love that the company abides by very strict guidelines. We own all of our own farms, which no other major company does. It partners with farms that abide by the same standards. I even love that Young Living goes beyond organic for our products. Most organic is only 5 years that they will test the soil for growing things. Young Living is like 50 years. They will go back where they are growing the plants for our essential oils. And so that's amazing. Just so many things that I love that we can go onto the website and learn so much more about Seed to Seal, and that Young Living just has this super high standard for the things that we bring into our home each day. And so Lynette is going to share a little bit about essential oils and just how to use them, the basics and safety. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I'm going to talk about the basics and safety first, and then start going into the oils that we use a lot and some of our favorite recipes. So there's 3 basic ways to use essential oils. You have topically on your skin, because your skin's your largest organ. The oils are going to get into your bloodstream in less than a minute. We're talking like seconds here. And then inhalation, which is through smelling or diffusing, whether you're opening up a bottle and smelling it or you're diffusing. And then internally as well. We cook, we bake with these oils, we do supplements that have oils in them. So those are the three basic ways. And if you're new to oils, I always say start low and go slow, especially when we're talking children and we're talking people that are pregnant as well. Regardless, you always want to start low and go slow. One way to do that topically is through the use of a carrier oil. A carrier oil is a fatty oil that helps dilute and carry the essential oil to your skin and helps you spread it on your skin much easier too. So we're talking oils like coconut oil. That's one of our family's most favorite carrier oils. Young Living has one called V6, which is a combination of 6 or 7 carrier oils that they have. Olive oil, grapeseed oil. I mean, there's so many. I could sit here and talk about them forever. But when we're talking about using oils with children, there's definitely a way that you want to dilute the oils because their skin's so much more permeable than ours is as an adult. So if we're talking about children that are the range of about 2 to 5 years old, we want to dilute 1 drop of oil with 1 to 2 teaspoons of a carrier oil. And that'd be a safe starting point for kids that are 2 to 5 years old. And then when we're talking about babies that are under the age of 2, we start with about 1 drop of essential oil mixed with a whole tablespoon of a carrier oil. So that's a really good starting point. And then just gradually increasing it based on your comfort and the comfort of your child. That's where we started with our daughter when she was literally days old. And then pregnancy and babies, again, you're going to want to do your own research and your own judgment. Just do some further research, deciding on what essential oils you feel comfortable using. If you go out there and do some research, you'll find that there's lots of different bloggers and people that are in the essential oil world that suggest staying away from specific oils. It's really based on your own personal preference. One of my absolute favorite references that I use and go to pretty much all the time for oils in children or oils in pregnancy is a book called Gentle Babies. I simply get it off of Amazon. It's written by Deborah Rayburn. It's like, it covers pretty much every oil and how to use them with babies and just different ideas of ailments and stuff and what oils to use for different ailments. Love that book. Who has that book? Drop it in the chat if you have that book. That one's awesome. Then there's also oils that are called hot oils. So you want to be aware of that. Hot oils are known to cause like a warming sensation when applied to the skin. So you definitely want to dilute hot oils. Just test them in a small area of your skin. See how your skin reacts to them. Oils that are hot include like thieves, oregano, lemongrass, cinnamon bark, just to name a few. There's others out there. And then also, last but not least, about safety, there are also oils that are known to be photosensitive. So when you go out into the sun, you'll definitely want to make sure that you don't apply that oil to your skin right before you go out. And those oils are ones that are pretty much citrus oils like lemon, grapefruit, lemongrass. There's lots of different citrus oils you just want to be cautious about. So that's as far as like the safety goes. And some of the basics as far as when we're talking about essential oils, Young Living has hundreds of essential oils from just single oils all the way over to different blends. So one of the best ways to start, and drop in the comments in the chat if you have a premium starter kit, the essential oil premium starter kit, that's one of the best ways to start. It was put together by the late Dr. Gary Young. He put this together as one of the most popular sets of oils. These oils are used for pretty much every single system in our bodies. So I'm going to talk about 6 of my favorite essential oils that are in the premium starter kit, because there's 12. Hillary will talk about 6 others as well, and then I'm going to share some of my favorite recipes too. So the premium starter kit, I have it right here, and this is brand new, unopened, but it comes with 12 essential oils and lots of wonderful samples of others like Ningxia Red. Who else loves their Ningxia Red here? I won't get into that one too much, but it comes with a diffuser, and this is one of my all-time favorites. This is the Desert Mist diffuser. It has so many different settings, lovely lights. The LED lights are beautiful. It looks kind of quilted, kind of ceramic, but it's actually plastic, so it doesn't break. But so one of my all-time favorite oils that I'm wearing right now, I wear it as my perfume every day, is Valor. Valor is the courage oil. It's the bravery oil. I have it going in the diffuser mixed with some Stress Away. Who loves Valor? This was one of my favorite oils in the birthing space too. When I gave birth to our daughter, I brought like 15 different oils with me. I didn't know what I was going to want in that space. And it was like, just roll the Valor on my face. Couldn't get enough of that one. Lemon is an oil that we use quite frequently in this house. This is the big bottle. This is the 15 milliliter. In the premium starter kit, you get the 5 milliliter bottles, but I didn't have a 5 milliliter lemon on hand because this stuff goes quickly in our home. So this takes crayon off of every single surface that I've ever had to remove it from. It takes the sticky gunk off of, like, from labels and such. So I'm able to remove labels from like our mason jars and reuse them. So we love lemon around here. Lavender, spa in a bottle. Lavender is my all-time favorite right now. I don't know why. It's just, I gravitate to different oils at different times. I must need a lot of it, but it's the one that we use a lot at nighttime. We have lavender going in our room every single night. And then I have Valor going in our night. No, she's 20 months old now. Our 20-month-old, her diffuser in her room has Valor because she gets night terrors. And so lavender is the all-time sleep oil in my opinion. And it's also what I apply to her skin when she has some kind of like a cut or an abrasion. When she ended up falling on her, she actually fell and like had this abrasion on her forehead, and I just applied lavender, and I know it took away the pain really quickly because she wasn't crying as much, and it just healed really quickly. So that was one thing that we use lavender a lot for. And then Peace and Calming. Peace and Calming is everything that it says. This was my all-time favorite oil to diffuse in my classroom. I used to be a 5th grade teacher for about 10 years. And this one was in there every single day. Stress Away, another one that is everything that it says. This is like a tropical vacation in a bottle. It smells very tropical. Stress Away is one that we diffuse when the vibe just needs to come down in the household. And it's also really good for bruises. I just learned this within the last few months that if you apply it to bruises, it helps out. And so my husband's been using that for bruises. And then last but not least, Digize. In my testimony, Digize was one of the oils that really helped me with all of my gut issues that I was talking about. So Digize was like the aha oil for me when I used this and applied it to my stomach because I have so many like stomach pains. When I applied it to my stomach, instantaneously the pain subsided. And this is for like bloating and acid reflux. It just had all of these issues. And so this was the first one I was like, wow, these oils really, really work. So those are the 6 oils from the premium starter kit I'm going to share about. And then here's 2 of our all-time favorite recipes that we use with our daughter every day. So the first one is kind of hard to see because the label is starting to come off, but this is the Healthy Baby Blend that I create, and I roll it down Remy's spine before nap time. So I apply it to her spine at least twice a day. This is like an immune support roller. Inside of it, I have frankincense, lemon, thieves. Sometimes I'll add copaiba, which is the oil that's outside of the kit. And every now and then I'll also add oregano, just depending on what I want it, just to switch it up sometimes, because oregano is really good for helping the immune system. But yep, so I just rub it down her spine because that's where a lot of the nerve endings are. And then last but not least, teething troubles. We have our 20-month-old and she's teething like crazy right now. And so I put this oil blend along her jawline and around her mouth and sometimes around her ears, just depending on what teeth are coming through. This is a combination of lavender, a little bit of copaiba, and tea tree. And then, of course, I fill them with the V6 carrier oil. So I just put a couple of drops of each oil and then fill it up. So those are some of our favorites. I'm going to switch it over to Hillary.
I can second all that. The starter kit when I got started came with Copaiba or however you want to pronounce it. I probably mispronounce it every time, but I feel like as you go, you're like, oh, that's how you pronounce that one. Um, but that was like a game changer in our house because of teething babies. Like, I don't know if you have teething babies in your house or you've ever had teething, but nobody is sleeping and nobody is happy because they are cranky. So that was like a lifesaver too for us. Um, so some of our favorite oils are peppermint. We love peppermint. You can add it to your immune roller, but it's also really great for tummies. Now it is a mint oil, so I do say like if you don't feel comfortable with it, it's totally fine. I just say apply to their feet because it's going to have the same benefits applied to their feet as it will like on their tummy. So if you're worried about it, it is a stronger oil. Just dilute more and apply it to their feet, or just keep it like below their belly button. I don't ever like to apply peppermint anywhere my kiddos could touch the peppermint oil because they might touch their eyes. And good Lord, if you have ever gotten an oil in your eye, which I did the other day, I touched my eye and I was like, I'm an idiot. I was like running to the bathroom and like a pirate. And Josh is like, what is wrong with you? I'm like, I got something in my eye. And you don't want to use water. Don't use water. You're going to want to take carrier oil. So if your kid ever gets into an oil, just take carrier. It's going to dilute it. Just keep applying until it's soothed and gone. But we love peppermint oil. It's also amazing for if your kiddo's running a little hot, you can put it right in their belly button. Your belly button has all these nerve endings. It's also great for DiGize. So sometimes we combine with DiGize, and you can just put it right in their belly button and it's going to be amazing, and on their feet. And whip up some brownies and add your Vitality peppermint. I forgot that I have it here to show. And that will also be amazing too. So you can bake with this, put it in like your mom tea, whatever. The other one we really love is Panaway. And I have big kids and little kids. And one night we were camping. My son came to me and he was like 15, 16 at the time, and he was having the worst earache ever. And Panaway just saved the day. We applied it all around his ear and put lavender and just some other ear supporting oils. And he woke up the next day and was like, fine. And he was able to fall asleep. So we really love Panaway for any of those little aches and pains. It's also great for kiddos who might be growing really quickly and they're having some growing pains. You can just add a little carrier oil and just apply it wherever their body is feeling some of those growing pains. And just if you have a kiddo in sports, our kids play hard. And so when sports start back up, this is going to be a great oil to use. I know a few friends who have like football players and they like are passing it around to the team and it's amazing. So old and young, this can work. Frankincense, Lynette mentioned this one a little bit. Amazing for immune support. If your kiddo is experiencing anything, this is great down the spine for whole body support. But we also just love it for calming. We have used it with lavender, frankincense, myrtle, and copaiba, and it makes an amazing bath soak with Epsom salts. Again, if your kiddo is running hot, if you can get them to soak in a bath for 20 minutes with that combo, it is like a lifesaver. So we love it for those purposes. And then as a mom, maybe put a little on your face and it's going to help with, all that aging that we're experiencing because we're raising these kiddos. Thieves is one that we just grab all the time. I mean, we like to mix it up, but Thieves is just great to be diffusing in their diffuser at night. Our bodies love to naturally regenerate and renew, and so Thieves is just great for supporting that immune system while they're sleeping. So we have like a daily roller. This also comes in a roll-on that you can get, which makes it super easy. But you just take a little carrier oil and put it on their feet. We combine this with lemon. Again, if your kiddo is running hot, every 45 minutes just be applying to their feet. One thing that I tell people is with oils, it's not about the quantity, like using more at once. It's about frequency. So our bodies metabolize oils really quickly, especially kiddos. So you just want to be applying regularly. So I just set a little kitchen timer. if we're, battling anything in our house. And then I keep my oils out where I can see them. And so, like every 45 minutes, if we have a kiddo running hot, we are running and putting thieves and lemon on their feet. The other one that we really love is Raven. My kit came with RC and I love RC, but honestly, I think that Raven's a little bit of like a lighter scent. It has wintergreen. It does have the little cap on it, and that's just because it has that stronger wintergreen oil. Again, you just want to dilute if you feel a little more cautious with the mint oils, but this is amazing for clear breathing, just opening up their airways. You can apply it. If you have a little one, you might want to apply it just on their back, again, where they can't get access to it. But if you have an older kiddo that can understand, like, don't touch, you can put it on their chest. Again, if that's, you're not comfortable with that, your feet are amazing. I remember with Sawyer when he was super congested and we were first, using oils, it was crazy to see that you could apply oils to his feet and it was like affecting his whole body. So Raven is amazing to diffuse, just all the things, clear breathing. The other one that we really love is Citrus Fresh. And you will notice these little white labels. I don't have a regular Citrus Fresh, but it will have a completely orange label. And the white label just says that we can use this internally and as more of a supplement. And the regular colored label is topical and aromatic. But the really cool thing is it's the same oil in both bottles. We just have them labeled so that we can share that you can use them these 3 amazing ways. So we actually diffuse Citrus Fresh a lot when we are having grumpy moods in our home, and we need to just brighten the mood. Citrus Fresh is our go-to. I also love it by the diaper pail, or if I have a stinky trash can. So it just helps kind of eliminate some of those funky odors that can happen when you have a house full of kids. Great in shoes. You can make like a little, take a little cotton ball, put a few drops, stick it in their shoes. It's amazing. Some of my favorite recipes. So when we were dealing with Isaiah, just realizing that there were things in his environment affecting his behavior and some of his like milestones, we discovered that we really loved using oils just to kind of help him manage some of his tantrums and just emotions and outbursts. So we really love, I totally forgot to go grab my roller bottles. We really love the blend of cedarwood, lavender, and vetiver. We were using a ton of vetiver in our house. It's a very calming oil. It's very strong oil, so it doesn't take very much at all. But we love that. We would just roll it on his neck, on his wrists, and just kind of like sit with him and help him to breathe the oils. Oils for emotional support, if you can get your kiddos to breathe them, it's really going to help them to access that part of their brain, the limbic system, that helps manage your emotions and stress and all that. The other one that we really love is our diffuser blend at night. We love adding cedarwood with lavender or stress away or peace and calming. Just kind of, we like to mix it up again. But cedarwood has this amazing benefit where it helps your body to naturally produce melatonin. So melatonin, we all know, helps support our sleep. Sometimes we don't naturally produce it like we should. And I know that taking it, sometimes like your body can build up an, immune, what would be the word? Like you build up a tolerance. So I love that cedarwood just helps support our body's natural production of that, which is great for kiddos because when your kiddos sleep, you sleep. And then another book I'm going to mention, there was another blend that we really loved. It was a tantrum blend. It's an oil and glass. I really love that book as a resource. It has some great recipes, so you can pick that up on Amazon. Again, guys, I'm so sorry. I totally forgot to grab that book to show you. It's in my little girl's room, and I was gathering things while she was sleeping, and I wasn't able to grab that one. But the other things that Young Living has is I love that as a mom, running around to all these different stores is just not what we have time for, right? And especially in this season when all the craziness of just, stores being shut down or just, not having access or maybe not wanting to go out as much, I love that just things came to my door. It was like this magical thing that happened every month. So I love that Young Living has this whole seedlings line that was specifically designed for our sensitive babies. And it has like 100% safe and effective ingredients. So there's like a baby oil and baby wash, and we love the seedlings calm oil, just so many things. And so I love that we have that. And then we also have a whole kids scents line. So I'm really, really quickly going to like just show you these. We just actually released a little Oilers collection. I think I've heard that maybe, this might be coming eventually as a starter kit. We'll see. But Genius, amazing for kiddos during homework. Focus, Owie is just great if they have some bumps and scrapes. Great for mom if she's in the kitchen and happens to, not know how to use knives. Sniffles also just kind of does what it says. It's great for breathing. Sleepy Eyes, great for sleep. And then Tummy Jize is amazing for kiddos' tummies. All things tummies, like whether things aren't working or working too well or whatever, car sickness, whatever. We've used it for all the things. And then I just wanted to show you really quickly, because we're doing a baby and oils class. This is Feather the Owl, and he plays music. My daughter loves the rain setting, and it's just a really cute little diffuser for kids for their rooms. You touch the feet to make it work, and then on the back there's some buttons with just some different music and sound. So I really love that for kids. I love that the kid scent set and then the diffuser is like the perfect way to just jump into oiling with kids. I call it oils for dummies because it's just, you don't even have to think about it. They're pre-diluted, ready to go, pop on a roller top, and you are good to go. So I'm going to hand it off to Lynette, and she's going to kind of tell you, if you are not started with Young Living, how you can jump in and get started.
Thanks, Hillary. So if you're a mom and you are not yet a Young Living member, you're definitely going to want to get started with the Premium Starter Kit. This is the one that has the 12, that has a diffuser, it has other samples in it as well. And it is the most economical way to get started with Young Living and to have essential oils in your home. So definitely make sure you reach out to the person that invited you to this class. They can help you get started with the kit. And again, like there's other kits that are out there, but the essential oils is one of the best ways to get started. And we're so thankful. I just wanted to thank you so much for coming to this class, for investing in the time to learn more about how to find health and wellness for your family in a natural way. You deserve health and wellness, and we really want to see you achieve it. So I just want to thank you for taking that time out of your busy weekend to be here with us. And what we wanted to do was really open this up to you for questions and answers. We have a little bit of time that I know we went through a lot of things here, but are there any questions that you have? Please feel free, either go ahead and put in the chat or just go ahead and unmute yourself. We would love to be able to answer those for you.
I did see that Natalie was asking about teething. I'm not sure what you've tried, but maybe you got some suggestions in the class. But sometimes you can also take the Vitality version of the Copaiba, and you can just take it on your finger if you feel comfortable. We use it straight. Or you can take a little bit of coconut oil, just the solid coconut oil, or a little carrier oil, and mix it in your hand, and then just literally just rub it like right on their gums. And sometimes that direct support is a little more helpful. And again, you just might have to apply more often, as needed. And then I think that Lynette mentioned frankincense is really good along like the jawline. And Lynette, do you use tea tree for that?
Yeah, I do use tea tree in that blend as well. And we use Copaiba, just like you said, neat directly on the gums when I can just tell that they're inflamed. There are just times when it needs to be directly on the gums. And we started doing that when she was I'm gonna say close to 9 months old. But everybody feels, more comfortable at different ages. So totally something about the comfort level for sure.
Natalie, you were saying she won't let you near her gums. So if that's the case, then you can just try it straight, like on the jawline if you feel comfortable, because it is still close to that area. Um, but and again, you can dilute, but so you can just approach it from the outside, maybe distract her with something. Sometimes I'm reading a book, or I sit down with them, or I let them like fall asleep, and I'll literally just like, get my fingers in there, or like put it along their jawline. I do try to be really careful to make sure that oils are always a really safe thing with my kids. Like if they're not feeling it, when we first started oils, my kids were very like, what are you doing? Like, and then they loved it. So you really want to start slow with them and not force it. And just like, not that I'm saying that you are, but just made me think of that you really want to build like this good, like trusting, like safe environment with oils, and your kids will just take that and like grow up with that, which is amazing. So, just however you can kind of work that as a mom to sneak those oils in, maybe when they're sleeping, if they're not so open to it when they're awake. I don't know if anyone else, like maybe some of the questions that you have had answered, we have some veterans in here, but maybe some of the things that you were first like either curious about or more cautious about, or things you just didn't know at first. I love that we have this amazing community of oilers. And that is one thing, that when you do get started with your kit, you're not alone. We have this great community that just kind of gathers around people and helps them and answers questions. We have this great Facebook education group, and there's just so much information in there, you guys. Like anything that you could ever want to know about is in there. So that is also amazing too, that you don't just start with your kit and you're on your own.
I just have to say, I loved that you guys shared some personal ways and you shared some little recipes, because I think that's really helpful, looking at how to, combine oils together to make them work a little bit differently than having just the single oil. I think that's really helpful. And I never really, got to use oils on teeny tiny babies, but I'm going to be a grandma one day soon. I know it, so I will. But so I'm curious, you talked about diluting, which I think is the big key, right? When we're talking about little people and their little bodies. How did you kind of weed through that, or kind of get through that? Because I feel like there's a lot of fear around, using oils on little ones. I would love to hear, like, I know using, having a resource like Gentle Babies is great, but what did that look like for you guys?
I can kind of share first, just because I feel it like I jumped into oils with a little one, well, two little ones at home. And he was 2 months old. And I remember like trusting my friend and the advice that she had given me, but kind of questioning, like, am I doing the right thing? Which is so funny, because I wasn't thinking anything about the toxic diaper wipes I was using, or like all these other things that we were using in our home, which just makes me laugh now, knowing what I know now. But just wondering, like, is this the right thing? And I just quickly saw like how his body just responded, and just so that was really neat. And just having my friend Heather, I think she's in here, just being able to reach out to her and asking her questions and getting that support, and just kind of that stamp of approval from other moms, like made me feel just so much more comfortable with the process.
And being a first-time mom, even though I had been exposed to Young Living and using Young Living for over a year before I even got pregnant, I was still it was just new. It was all new to me. And so I was like, okay, well, do I need to have it diluted correctly for the age? And like I was talking about earlier, I did start diluting based on those conservative dilution ratios. And there were times when I realized, like, based on my child's response, she might need something a little bit more concentrated. And so I just slowly started to add maybe an extra drop of oil into the roller ball that I made. Like, for example, my teething troubles that I have that I was talking about, I started with 1 drop of Copaiba and filled this whole thing up with V6. And when that wasn't really supporting her teething issues that she was having, I would add another drop. And then I did some research about what other oils help with the whole teething issue, and ended up reading about tea tree and what other one do I have in here? Oh, lavender as well. And so I just kept adding to it and came to finally a point where I felt like I had a good amount of essential oils that are diluted based on her age too. Because, you know, as I would do this research, you'd get older and older and end up needing a little bit more oil. So it's just kind of one of those things where I had to just try it out and see what worked. And hearing from other moms that are in our Confident Oilers group and in other groups as well that I'm a part of, there's lots of other essential oil Young Living groups out there as well. So just hearing what other people were doing gave me even more confidence being a first-time mom.
Really quickly, I saw someone asked about cradle cap, and we used the seedlings oil on their head, and then I would just use one of those little soft bristle scrub brushes, which I'm sure you know about too. But sometimes just mixing up what you're using, and just if one thing's not working, trying something else, because our bodies just respond to oils and different things differently, and our babies are no different, and our kiddos are no different. So lavender's definitely good. I think in Gentle Babies, there's a recipe, and I just can't think of it offhand. And I did find that for my kiddos, if I see something like, or Sawyer, he's like 3.5, and he sometimes gets a little funkiness on the top of his head. It's sometimes like a food thing too. So there's something to think about.
Yeah, we dealt with cradle cap as well, and I agree that what works for one baby might not work for the other, because we tried a couple of different things as well, and we used the seedlings baby wash, and we kind of switched between the seedlings oil that you were talking about, Hillary, and we also used coconut oil too, and used the dry brush as well, and that combination ended up working really, really well too.
Well, guys, I feel like we've learned so much. This is probably one of my favorite topics as a mom, because I feel like when our kiddos are supported and happy, and we can like feel that empowerment as moms, like that's just so priceless. I just, on a daily basis, whatever our family's dealing with, I love that we can just like reach for things and try different things, and I'm not worried about side effects or ingredients or anything like that. I love that it's just so safe for them. So thank you so much for joining us, you guys, and I hope you guys all have a great rest of your day. And yeah.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye, guys.